Welcome back, students. I'm now moving on to the second part of the unit, that is Theory of Consumer Behavior. We have just completed Introduction to Economics, wherein we studied about the concept of economics, what is microeconomics, what is macroeconomics, the central problems of the economy, that is what to produce, how to produce and for whom to produce. And then we went on to learning about production, possibility, frontier and opportunity cost. Now the second part of the unit is Theory of Consumer Behavior. And in this, the first thing we will learn about is the concept of utility. Well, you must be wondering what you're seeing here in front of you. Now that we have a lot of spare time on our hands, these are some of the things that my kids at least consume a lot. So I have them in my house. And since we consumers consume them, and they're one-time use goods, we call them consumer goods. Unlike consumer durables like fans, fridges, ACs and TVs, they can be used over and over and again by consumers. So these are consumer goods that we will finish in one use once we open and we consume them. Well, what is utility? To understand utility, I'll ask you a question. Can we say that this packet of the chips inside the packet of Lay's has utility for us? Yes, it has. Because utility is the want satisfying capacity of a good. Let me write that down for you. What is utility? It is the want satisfying. You can say it along with me. It is the want satisfying capacity of a good. Get this in your head. So all these goods that you see in front of you definitely have the capacity. They have the capacity to satisfy our wants. So definitely we can say that these goods or examples of goods that I've taken here do have utility. To understand the concept of utility better, I am now going to conduct a little experiment. Where of course, even in the classroom situation, I would have asked one of you, choose what you'd like to consume and we'll start the experiment. But now that I'm far away from you, but yet not so far away, I will be the one who will be conducting the experiment with myself. Okay, so I'm the subject here. I have chosen, to make things easier and faster for me, I've chosen Tic Tac. I like Tic Tac very much, so I'm able to consume them. And I've chosen to consume Tic Tacs. So let me get all this out from here. I'm now going to consume. Now, before I consume the units of Tic Tac, I'd like to tell you that before we begin the experiment, there are certain assumptions. Okay? We assume that all units are identical, which means they are the same in all respects with respect to quality, size, taste, color and so on. So since I've taken this flavor, definitely all the units have the same flavor. So taste, color, etc. are the same. So you'll agree with me on this? So we can fulfill this condition. The second assumption is the units have to be consumed one after the other. One after the other in the same period of time. Like now when I'm conducting the experiment in front of you. The units have to be of suitable size. So that is also there. The quick succession we've gone for. And my taste and preferences, my income, taste and preferences must remain the same. You know, in economics, when we, for this word same, we can also use the word constant. Okay. So, yes, all units are identical. They will be consumed one after the other. Taste and preferences do not change. And they are of suitable size. So, these are the four assumptions. I'm going to start consuming one unit successively. Successively means one after the other. So I'm on the first unit. I'll speed up with the consumption. And then I have to say how useful what is the satisfaction I derived. Now I need to give some numerical value. And the numerical value has a unit. That unit is called utils. So when I express how much satisfaction I derived from the first unit that I consume, I will say a number and I'll have a unit with it. And I'll call that unit utils. So initially I derive a satisfaction of 10 utils. Now I'm going for the second one. After consuming the second one, I get a total utility after consuming both together. The total utility, I'll say, is 18. Going for the third one. After consuming the third one, let me just give me a second to bite it and finish it off. I'll say now I have a total utility of maybe 23 utils. Okay, going for the fourth one. Now I'm feeling a bit like I don't want to have too much of it, but still I'm having it. So total consumption I feel is 25. Going for the fifth one. I'm doing it really fast. Now I feel after consuming all the 5, I'm having a total utility of 25 utils. You see, the fourth, after consuming the fourth unit, my utility is 25. After consuming 5, I feel like I'm having the same utility. Now I'm going for the sixth and I will stop after sixth. After consuming 6, now I feel like the utility after 6 units is 23 utils. What do you notice is happening here? Now that I am having more and more units of this tic tac, I seem to initially want to continue having more, and then I seem to be at a constant level. So again the word constant comes, which is the same. And then at the 6th unit, after consuming 6 units, my total utility, I say after consuming all 6 is 23. So you see, I'm less willing now to consume more of it. Well, so that brings us to a law. We can generalize this. It will happen for most of us. Not only me now that I've consumed Tic Tac. You take the Lays and you start consuming packet of chips. You notice that towards the end, you buy a 20 rupees packet. If you are towards the end, you find that you can start sharing it with others. So that's why they call it maybe share a pack or something. And I think, this is the kind of study that helps producers to determine how much to pack in, say, for example, how many biscuits to pack in a small pack of 10 rupees of Oreo, which will be enough for one consumer. Or perhaps how many cubes of chocolate should they give in a pack of 20 for one consumer, or how many units of polo they should give, or you can apply this to any number of goods. So we notice from my experiment that as we consume more of a good, we want less of it, right? Now see, I have stopped. I really don't want more Tic Tac. I'm done with it. There's a minty flavor in my mouth and I'm really done with it. So today we will generalize this in the form of a law, and that law we call it as law of diminishing marginal utility. Now in economics, when we use this word diminishing, it means that it is increasing but at a decreasing rate. The word diminishing means increasing at a decreasing rate in this case. Let me help you to understand this. We'll go back to the table. Now you see, in the first case, the utility has increased from 0 units if I consumed. It has jumped to 10. Now I'm filling this column. You can see the M here. It stands for marginal. And this word marginal is helping us to calculate change. So by how much has total utility changed from the time I did not consume anything till I consumed 1 unit? It has changed by 10 utils. Remember again that the unit of utility to measure utility is utils. Then from 10 I came to 18. That means additional utility over the previous one was 8. How I get this 8? 18 minus 10. The one below minus the one above. That means utility at second unit minus the utility at first unit. We can go on and find out what is the change after one unit of consumption. So after one more unit of consumption, my utility changed by 5 utils. So how did I get 5? 23 minus 18. Then my utility increased by how much? Yes, by 2 utils. Then did my utility change? No, there was no change. So 25 minus 25 is 0. See? Now you can see the utility, the change in the utility is decreasing. There is an increase in utility, but it is increasing at a decreasing rate. That is what this concept of marginal tells us. The total utility, it is increasing. We can see 10 to 18, 18 to 23, 23 to 25, very well increasing. But at what rate it is increasing is told to us by marginal utility. So see, here it is increasing by 10 first, then it is increasing by 8, then it is increasing by 5. So the rate is decreasing at which it is increasing. Then it is increasing by 2, then it is not increasing at all. Then at the 6th unit, total utility is actually decreasing. So what is 23 minus 25? 23 minus 25, sign of the bigger number. So it is negative 2. That is what this law is teaching us. It is teaching us that as more and more units of a commodity are consumed, the marginal utility derived from every additional unit must decline. We'll repeat. What does the law of diminishing marginal utility state? It states that as more and more units of a commodity are consumed, the marginal utility derived from every additional unit must decline. So we are coming back to the word diminishing. What do we mean by additional unit? The 1 tic-tac that I had, addition. So at every additional unit consumed, the marginal utility must decline. This is the statement of the law of the law of diminishing marginal utility. We will now go on to draw a diagram based on this schedule. So it's very easy. Just draw the x and y axis for you. First I will draw the total utility curve. So you have the vertical axis and then you have the horizontal or the x-axis. I will put all the units of consumption here on the x-axis. On your ruler, when you're drawing it now, you can take 1 centimeter. Okay. So up till 6 units I consumed, right? So I am going to put it up to 6 units. So I will write here units of consumption. And for the y-axis, I will take maybe 5, 10, 15. So you can go for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Let's go for up till 30. What is this now on the y-axis? Total utility. So this column will go on the y-axis and this column, units of a good, will go on the x-axis. We'll start plotting the points, okay? So the first point, 1 unit of a good. What is the total utility? 10. So against, it started at 0 level of consumption. So like we can join these 2 points now. Then at 2 units, the total utility is 18. So let's try to get that at 2 units. Somewhere around here. At 3 units, it is 23. So it will be somewhere around here. Then at 4 units, it is 25. So you look here. At 5 units, again it is 25. So the level will be the same here. And at the 6th unit, it actually decreases to 23. So somewhere around here. On your scales, when you're doing it at home with your ruler, you will be able to plot the points correctly. We learnt about this plotting of points and all in correlation. Remember in the 11th standard? So you use the same principle here now. So I join these points. What I derive is the total utility curve. Okay, you can see it's going upwards and then it starts going down. We'll draw one more curve just below this one, just to help you to understand the connection between marginal utility and total utility. Again, I will draw the x and y axis. So you have units. Always know, when you're drawing your diagrams in economics, always label them first. That is my first concern and my first rule. You have to label. We are drawing a marginal utility curve, so I'll put marginal utility on the y-axis and units of consumption on the x-axis. Here I can take 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. And here now, I will take exactly below. See. So I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now when I am plotting, I have to see 1 unit of a good. What was the marginal utility? It was 10. So I come here and I plot that point. Second unit of consumption, it was 8. Third unit, it was 5. Fourth unit, it was 2. Fifth unit, it was 0. So there's a point coming here, mu equals to 0. And sixth unit, we'll have to extend this to the negative quadrant. And we'll mark -2 here. Why -2? Because we got a negative value here. So again, sixth unit of consumption, the point will be here. This is the negative quadrant. Now we can just join these points. And we derive the marginal utility curve. So we have completed now. We started with the assumptions. What are the assumptions? All units are identical. The units have to be consumed one after the other, that is successive consumption. The taste and preferences must not change in the same time period. I should not say, no, I don't want Tic Tac, I want Polo. Okay, I should be having the same taste and preferences, and the units should be of the same size. Then we have the schedule. This is called a marginal utility and total utility schedule, or utility schedule you can call it. This here is the total utility curve based on our schedule. This is marginal utility curve based on our schedule. This is the statement of the law. Let's repeat it again. As more and more units of a commodity are consumed, the marginal utility derived from every additional unit must decline. So today we have studied the law of diminishing marginal utility. Not only that, we have studied what is utility, what is total utility, and what is marginal utility also. Just with the help of this little example or experiment that I have conducted. We studied the assumptions, we studied the statement of the law, we studied the diagrams, and we have learned about these diagrams. So you can see the marginal utility curve is downward sloping. It becomes 0 at one point and it becomes negative. And it clearly shows us and proves to us that this law is true. That as more and more units of a commodity are consumed, the marginal utility derived from every additional unit must decline, and decline it does. You can see it declining. You can see the curve itself is going downward sloping. So we call this kind of a curve having a negative slope. For your evaluation, of course, I will ask you a few questions based on this video. I will also provide you with the notes. The diagrams you will have to draw based on the schedules that will be provided. That will be your homework. That you will look at the schedule and plot the points and draw both the diagrams in the respective places. There will be a separate note on total utility with its own diagram and schedule. Separate note on marginal utility with its own diagram and schedule. And there will be an answer of 5 marks for law of diminishing marginal utility. There also you will have to draw only the marginal utility curve. In the notes, the schedule has been provided. So based on that schedule, you will draw the diagram for evaluation. So I guess that is it. If you have any queries, any difficulty, you can always get to me personally. Please play the video again for a better understanding of the topic. Thank you, students, and God bless you all.